Check, check, check. What's up, guys? Jumping on here a little early so I can get my charts marked up, skim through some tickers, make sure NQ isn't the only thing I'm hyper focused on. Been not, I've been trading kind of Check. God, really need to put a post-it note on my screen to do that every time. It'll just work and work and work. I don't have a problem with the mic, and then it just stops working for some reason. Yeah, what I was saying was I missed this 4 hour inside bar break here, right? Inside bar that I stalked for 8 hours. I didn't sit here for 8 hours, but so I was initially looking for the 4 hour hammer, and it just we kind of sold off inside bar, waited for this, and then it was tricky back here to get into. You can see we ping ponged around the trigger right here, right? Break it, pull back, break it, pull back, break it, pull back. Finally started to go and back tested, and that's where I really got aggressive. But I closed my position up here instead of just waiting for. I mean, I was looking for at least up towards this, somewhere towards this gap fill, either the quarterly open, much higher, like above the open, and we ended up getting from the entry here was 150 points. Like that was the trade of the night. I mean, that probably should have made my week at least, probably month, because that's what I was sitting here waiting for. I've gotten good at stalking trades and then getting aggressive when it's a trade setup that I really like. And that was a trade setup I really liked, and I just mismanaged it. So, like I should have just skipped the day, and I did. I avoided most of the day. I traded some combines in here, like some people. This was a little tricky. This, um, like this chop, but one thing I'm working on is range trading. So if you use the top of these candles and the bottom of these candles and you long the bottom and you short the top, this is a pretty significant range here. This was from like the lows to the highs, 125 points. And Sarah yelled at me for this, but if you're struggling, I don't know, maybe you don't get the strat or you're having a hard time seeing what's going on. This is TA. This is a typical bull flag, right? I mean, there's no reason to try and short this, in my opinion. So this is where I made money on combines, and then I got overly confident, and I got kind of smoked in this area. And then we finally got the tariff news on Canada. So market kind of rallied on that, but just not happy with the way that I've been trading, and I do want to, I've got one XFA that I'm about one personal daily loss limit away from losing. The other two are okay, but need to focus on good setups. And my degenerate brain wants to full port just something in the right direction, like to hope and pray. So I'm gonna try and avoid that. I'm gonna see what we get here. We got an open in 30 seconds. Nothing I like on the hourly. We got an hourly outside bar. Filled the gap. And yeah, I mean that's about it. Just don't feel. I mean, it's not that I don't feel like I've traded well, or that I've not traded well. Evidenced by the last like 4 or 5 days. I've come close to hitting daily loss limit like 5 days in a row, which for me is the longest losing streak that I've had. So a little frustrated, but I'm still in the game because of my daily loss limit. If I didn't have my daily loss limit and I had some great trading buddies who made me lock, which speaking of, let's do that now before I get myself in trouble here. We're gonna lock risk settings on this account, on this account. Roll with. Highly recommended of people that you respect as traders, that that have your back, that are in the same, making the same mistakes. is helpful to try and work on them together. Also, good to find people who are making different mistakes because then you can kind of help each other out. But very fortunate that I got a lot of people that are, that I mean, and it's because I share my experience. I share what I'm trading, my struggles, my wins. It's not just all like, hey, I had a great week. It's like, guys, I want to literally full port right now. And then I get feedback and, somebody talks me off the ledge. So if you don't have that, I would try and find it. It is helpful. See if we just close this gap and then resume up. Anybody know if Trump is talking tonight? I mean, if there's a scheduled press conference of some sort, that'll kind of change my approach a little bit. I don't want to get caught on the wrong side of I mean, a tweet or a Truth Social post, we can't help. But if there's something that's scheduled, we got to know about it as traders. Just have to. It's got to be like part of the deal. Looking for something to get into, but a whole lot I'm a big fan of. So as much as I want to click buttons, I'm gonna kind of chill out for a second. Was definitely expecting more selling yesterday. Like this, I was definitely more bearish until we started to kind of not be able to make a new low a day. Then that's when we were kind of stuck sideways, and I started looking for the 4 hour inside bar. That was like my next kind of trade idea. Really, yeah. I mean, he's he likes to be in front of the camera. He's a talker, boy. He likes that attention, and it's I mean, I hear he's on TV. I'm visiting my family, and so the news is typically on, and I hear Trump talking. Man, I scurry out there like a cockroach. Like, is this live? And I'm looking to see if it's live or recorded earlier or whatever, so I know whether to buckle up or not because it's great. I mean, the this morning was looking super bearish. I mean, we did. It's if you look at it, we had this. We got a like a broaden information thing going on here, a little megaphone. But I mean, this was the Mexico kind of tariff announcement that they were being paused, and the market just rallied. And if you were short here, I've seen some people post in funded chat. I'm not sure. I'm not going to call anyone out, but saying that they realize they need to trade with stops. If you're not trading with a stop loss, you're not trading. If you don't have a stop loss, that means you have no idea what you're willing to risk. You're either willing to risk max loss limit or blow your account up. That's kind of not how we do it. I mean, you can do it that way, but I don't think you're going to be very successful, especially when we've got Trump as president and a tweet or the T word sends the market diving. Went along here, but I need to wait at least for the first 5 minute candle to print. I mean the second. It's good. We got like a 5 minute hammer. I gotta be careful. The next one or two trades I take need to be decent. Gotta be good setups. And we just don't have that. It's a lot of continuation. We had a gap up. We got red, two ups on the 15, 30, 60, 4 hour, 12 hour day. That's why I was curious. I was interested in the gap fill here. Would have liked to see this pull back just a little bit more down here. Maybe I was being too picky. We'll see. Maybe I'll try and long the 5 minute hammer if we get a close in a minute 15 seconds. Keeping an eye on crypto too. Crypto is like my canary in the coal mine. Over the weekend, when the tariff talk was going on, crypto was getting smoked, and then we had a huge gap down in futures. So sometimes crypto could be a leading indicator when markets are closed, or just in general, crypto is higher, is risk on asset. So if risk on is running hard, then the chances that NQ or ES are going to follow are typically high. Again, we're just trading probabilities, so it doesn't have to happen that way. But more often than not, and that's, if I could tell you, if you take this trade more often than not, you'll end up making money. It's probably a trade you want to take. There's nothing on the higher time frames to go after right now. I mean, we are above the daily high or just barely. You know what? I don't even think I marked my charts up. I get distracted because and I'm on NQ, which I did that earlier. Traded NQ instead of MNQ on an XFA. Thank God I only took one. I was just trading single micros because there was so much volatility. Let's mark things up like we normally do so I can figure out where we're at, even though there's no real setups here, like on the 4 hour or the hourly. I think I'm just going to mark the daily high and low and the weekly. The other thing I mentioned was that I just didn't wake up early enough for this, and it didn't matter anyway. If I'm being honest, was the 12-hour hammer right here that we were. So I went to bed about 4 a.m. and planned on waking up at 6 a.m. for this. So let's mark this. Let's just see if there was a way in here. Mark this like yellow. Okay, that didn't work. That's because I picked text. So we did get the 12-hour that triggered, but then we sold off after the open. So re-trigger, but I wasn't. This happened at 10:20. I didn't actually wake up until about. I woke up at 8 a.m. Went back to sleep. I didn't sit in front of the computer until about 10:30. So I had missed this big old candle that re-triggered the 12-hour. But that was good for a what 252 to good 200 points. So I don't feel as bad about that as I do about missing the 4 hour inside bar break. I didn't even miss it. I just mismanaged it. We got a new 15-minute flip in a minute. It's under yesterday's high. Inside week on NQ. Let me look at some other charts, see if there's anything else more interesting here. I know Platinum was getting smoked. Platinum's having a hell of a start. So after many selling candles on the 4 hour, getting a little bit of a reversal here. I don't know if I'm going to trade that though. Let's see. Let's look at copper. Oil all over the place. So I don't even know how you trade this. I mean, that's a crazy chart, right? I don't think I can get down with that. Like if you happen to be on the right side of it, cool. If not, you're getting smoked. Not trying to get smoked. I did see natural gas was kind of ripping. Let's look at NG. This big gap up, a lot of sideways. I mean, I get, it looks like it's mostly been sideways, but this move up was, where was the high? No, it's not as much as I thought. It was up 10 or 11% from from the close down here. 0.15. Wanted to trade this, but I don't know. After a big gap up like this, it's I need setups I can be confident in. A 15-minute inside. Let's see what happens here. I mean, long. I want a long, but we're trading against a red 30 and 60 and 4 hour and 12-hour day. Maybe on the next 15-minute flip, we get an inside bar up that can flip continuity on the day. Might be interesting. Or this 5-minute inside bar here. Maybe an early entry. I don't know. I just don't like trading against the hour. Looking at how many points of risk that would be. Like if I wanted to set a stop, just take a long, set a stop under here. About 10 points. Not a great trade though. I have gotten a lot of feedback from other traders though who have said, "Oh, I was complaining about struggling the last few days, last week." They were like, "You're not the only one." So I mean, I know people have made money. I've seen some P&Ls on Top Step. That's what gets frustrating is when people are making money and I'm like, "What is going on here?" Like I'm not just on point. And yes, they say let's not compare ourselves to other traders. You're on your own journey, that sort of thing. But I'm like, well, what if I want to be on somebody else's journey? Because my journey sucks right now. I want to switch up journeys. I'm just gonna take one micro here. It broke the double inside fiver up. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I don't have a lot of confidence, but it's tiny risk. It keeps the itch scratched. If I hit my stop loss, it'll remind me why I don't trade against the 60. That's why I was enjoying trading combines today because they're it's not that big of a deal. Like if I like I don't want to have to spend another $50, but if I blow the account, it's not a big deal, right? So it kept me from trading my funded accounts all day until I locked myself out of combines, and then I felt the need to switch to funded accounts, and that was a mistake. So I just, I got some feedback today. Just trade a practice account. I'd rather just not. I'd rather just not trade than trade a practice account. If you're trading a practice account and it works for you, that's great. Like don't listen to me. I'm just another dummy here trying to make money. But for me, there's no emotion in that. Like I'll just willy nilly enter trade. There's no risk. There's no reward. Back over the five, double inside fiver trigger. Zooming in on this a bit on my other screen. See what happens on this 15-minute flip in 7 minutes. I do like trading. I will point out here on the 60, we've got an outside bar with almost full time frame continuity to the upside, right? Man, which I do like trading, but we'll see. It's got to stay outside of that 3. We're just going nowhere fast. What's up, Jay Busty? Yeah, your journey sucks. You feel that? It is, I just saw a guy got moved to a Top Step Live account. He had 5 funded accounts. He got approval from the risk team to trade above the 50K payout limit and started his live account with 600,000. I was just like, what? All right, maybe I don't need 600K. I don't know how long he's been trading. That's the thing that we don't know. Like it's easy to look at somebody who's been trading for 10 years and say, well, why can't I trade like that? Well, because you haven't traded. You're missing 6 years of experience. That's why. Or somebody who's been doing this a year, comparing themselves to me. I'm not saying I'm the greatest trader or whatever, but I've gotten some payouts finally. Um, feel like I can usually have I usually have a good read on the market. I have worked on some of my psychological issues, but you know, you you're just not going to be able to compete with somebody who's been doing this a lot longer, and you shouldn't compare yourself to someone who's been doing it a lot longer. They've got many more hundreds or thousands of hours of staring at these charts. 5 minute rev strat down, looking better as a short. Trying to break the 15-minute low. Does it? Don't get stopped out just barely. Probably will though. But yeah, I mean, I do trader math. It's like, well, I had been averaging 500 to 1,000 a day. It's like, all right, let me multiply that by potentially five funded accounts. There's 5 grand. Let's say 2,500 to 5 grand a day times 20 trading days during the month. 2 or 3 months, I'm gonna be buying an island somewhere. Like I'm over here spending money I haven't made yet. And it's funny because I see other people do it. They post, trade with Apex, you can trade 20 accounts. And, if you can make 1,000 a day, it's 20,000 a day times 20 trading days. And it's like, bro, slow down. But we do get caught up in that stuff. The potential is there. It's a knockout and stopped out by a tick. What is the low? 564. Yep. One tick. Saved by a tick. Was added down here because I don't add a whole lot of risk, but I get my average entry price down. Sometimes I do that when if I'm close to stopping out in a position. Sometimes it's worth taking a stab at adding to it. Like instead of stopping out for 27, maybe I stop out for like 32 or 35, or if I add maybe two or three more micros, $40, but then my average price will drop down to here where I got a better chance of getting back into the green. But this was just a anti FOMO entry just to keep me from clicking buttons. I was in the danger zone. 30-minute flip in 1 minute. And we have barely moved. Let's see. 36-point range after 30 minutes. It's the flip. Opening inside 30. Still got a red 60. Inside 5:15:30. Stopped out. Did add one on there. I gotta find. Usually this gap gets filled pretty quickly, and then we get a move in the other direction once it gets filled. If things are gonna continue, see what happens here. The 30-minute inside bar went two down. Super close to losing this XFA. I got like need a really solid trade to get me out of the danger zone here. My other two are okay. I mean, they're not. I'm not setting the world on fire, but I'm not at risk of losing them yet. And it really only takes one or two good trades for me to put up some numbers. But this account, I'm need to, I'm hoping I can find a good setup here. We don't have anything yet. Really don't want to trade out of desperation either. I'm gonna mark that outside the 60-minute outside bar. Oh, it's already marked. It's this. I'm gonna mark this yellow. So if we get above that, I like longs. If we don't, then I mean, excluding that first opening candle on the 2 minute, we got a 24-point range, which is not a lot of wiggle room to trade in. Yeah, I saw a video the other day of a guy who had I think it was like a 15 or 20 day losing streak. He was down like 20, 30, 40 grand and was talking about how he was kind of dealing with that, which I thought was interesting. It's the kind of stuff I like to watch on YouTube about trading. Like, I'm not looking for strategy stuff. It's mostly people who are usually people who are struggling with something. I think that's where I get the most value. Well, even though at the time I wasn't in that situation, I'm like, made a bunch of mental notes about what he was talking about and how he's dealing with it. If I found myself in that situation, now I haven't been, red 20 days, but 5 days for me, I think is the longest red streak that I've had. And I do think it would be easy for me to get in my head and start, making up stories about whatever. Oh, you got lucky, you can't really trade, you don't know what you're doing. My brain has a ton of negative self talk that starts popping off. And it's funny, I was in an 8 year relationship with a girl who was the complete opposite of me. She was like, I love my life, everything is great, it's gonna be amazing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it's not. you know, she's like, no, I swear it's gonna be rainbows and oh, it's raining outside, it's lovely. I'm like, no, it's raining. I'm gonna hide under the covers. But it did open my eyes to the way that we feel and approach life is really just kind of the this the a story that we tell ourselves, right? Either you can enjoy its rain, you can say, "Oh, it's great, the earth is getting water and we need this to live and whatever, whatever." Or you can be like me and say, "Oh my God, it's raining. I don't want to get wet. I'm going to stay inside." Candyman, yes it is. We're not going anywhere, man. Made it tiny. That's why I little tiny 1-2 micro, little stab. But there's nothing here for me to really get after on any of the higher time frames. So might not, might just be one of those not great trading days or evenings. Maybe things change into London or potentially tomorrow for New York. We are over yesterday's high, but inside week, and we're at the mercy of what Trump says. So yeah, I mean, I would love to scale into 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 micros into an aggressive move, but like if we don't stay outside of that hourly outside bar, which is this yellow line, we gotta stay above that, and we're not. We're just right under it. We get over it, maybe I take another, just a small position, but would kind of need to see a setup here. I mean, we gotta. So on the 30 minute, here's a 15. We got a two down green. Same on the 30, but we got a red 60, a red 4 hour. I mean, we could start to reverse things here. I would like that. That's what I would like to see. Like maybe go outside 15 and then compound outside 30. Just not a fan of the conflicted time frame continuity. So yeah, like not just gonna jump into something here again. Like I'm a knucklehead. But I do learn my lesson, right? It's like take a small trade. If it doesn't work, then just okay, or let's just be patient. That's the name of the game. It's like fishing. You go out there hoping to catch fish, but you might not catch anything but seaweed. Like many times I've been fishing. I used to have a bass boat down in Florida. I would go fishing and spend like 2 hours out there and not catch shit and just be like, why am I even doing this? This is so dumb. Even though I enjoy being out on the water and the experience and all that, it's like I'm there to catch fish, man. And, like that last cast or two or three, and then you catch a fish and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this was amazing. You forget about the 2 hours of suffering. And I feel like trading is like that often where we sit here and we sit here and things don't happen and nothing is moving. And then, when you least expect it, we get a new flip, something starts moving, you get on the right side of the trade, and it makes it all worth it. Yeah, beef. I'm gonna be looking at metals. Gonna be keeping an eye on metals here, especially with platinum doing what platinum was doing. I'm gonna check back on that. It's pulling back a little bit, but let's see. Copper. We got gold. Look at gold hourly. Inside, 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 and then we break bear. Not as aggressive a reaction as I would have expected, but we did hit the target that I'd be looking for right down here. Actually, I don't think it hit. Came very close. Right. A little bit off, but I get mad when I see these trades after the fact because it's like, had I been sitting here watching this, if I saw this, 4x inside bar break bear, I would have taken a shot at it. But we can't be all places at the same time. And maybe it didn't look as good on a. And we do have double inside 4 hour trying to get going. So we got the monthly and weekly open right here. That'll definitely be worthwhile. I'm glad you mentioned that because I hadn't checked. I haven't really like. I mean, I skimmed through gold, but I didn't really look at like the 4 hour daily time frames. I just happened to see the hourly setup here. Because yeah, if NQ stays just kind of not doing a whole lot, I'm gonna want to look for other things to trade. Or I'll just chill out tonight, see what happens tomorrow, maybe. Anybody know if we got like economic news numbers? Let's take a look at like financial juice. February 4th. How do I want to filter out? 10 o'clock, jolts, job openings, factory orders. Unemployment's going to be a big one on the 5th. Is that Wednesday? Yeah. Jobless claims and non farm payroll. So there should be, there's going to be volatility most likely this week with, with some news stuff coming out. And then, God only knows what we're going to hear about tariffs. I know Trump mentioned 10% tariffs on the European Union. So who knows? NQ, 2 down, 15 green, triggering to the upside. I'm a little late to it, but I'm going to take a shot. If this doesn't work, I'm going to hop off. Because I'm fighting against a red 60. It's like not ideal. Sometimes the desire to make money is powerful. We can get over the outside bar, the hourly outside bar. That would be a positive. Got to get over that yellow line though. flip the day green would be nice, and then just maybe steamroll up to let's just shoot to all-time high. Why not? I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean, not like in an hour. That's what I would like to see. Like to just see new all-time high by I don't know 8 p.m. Green Day with a solid win. Scout long to pass final two TPT accounts. Got lucky. Price is trash. Price is trash right now. How'd you squeeze out 325 and 340? In this, you must have just. I mean, we're not even. We're still stuck in this. What was this range? I gotta look at this. What did you do? Give me your secrets. Tomorrow, Alphabet reported to close. Trump is using tariff trick just to then say he will delay it 30. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. We don't. It's market has a massive sell off on tariffs, and then I did mention in I think Funded Chat or one of the discords that I'm in. Pretty sure I mentioned it in the Strat Discord too. Beware of headline news. Like the only thing that could, well, somebody was telling me that they, on Tuesday when tariffs go into effect, that it was going to be, the market might react, and I said I didn't think that was likely, right? The market had already priced in tariffs. So the only thing that could change it is a headline that the tariffs aren't going into effect, right? There's some kind of delay, which is what we ended up that's what we heard this morning with Mexico sending 10,000 National Guard to the border. Don't stop me out here, man. Just let me just let me win. Um so yeah, I mean that's the kind of environment that we're trading in, and we just got to be aware of that and on our toes, right? Stay nimble. We've seen over the last week or two, Trump, mentions tariffs, the market sells off, and then, you get a 100-point candle to the downside, and then it recovers 80 points the next 5, 10 minutes because he says something else, later, shortly after that the algos, it's the algos are just doing sentiment analysis. It's machine learning. They're just taking words and they're saying, are these good words or bad words, positive or negative? If they're negative, they start selling. If they're positive, they start buying. Ay, ay, ay. Why am I even trying? I should not even be clicking buttons right now. It really is trash. Look at this. I mean, just trying to trade this is mental illness. But I'm a mentally ill person, guys. This is just this is what we want to get. We want to get these stuff like this, right? Whoops. Let's switch our clickety clackety. Right? Let's see big green candles, pull back. Big green candles, corrective activity. Green candle, corrective activity. You want to be in a trend of some sort. That's where I make my money. That's where we usually do well as straters. Or looking for some kind of broadening formation activity. We are going to fill this gap though, but I mean at this point, I'm just not there's really nothing to get. We could see what happens here on the hourly flip in 8 minutes, but went outside 5, outside 15, 30-minute where are we at here? NQ, red 2 up, sugars to the downside. So maybe we get a pullback here. Target these lows. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to participate. I think I'm just going to wait until I don't even know when. Usually I have like an idea. I'm like, oh, I like the 4 hour. I like what I see on the 12. I don't like any of it. I don't like anything at all on any time frame. I don't like the 4 hour. I don't like the 12 hour. I don't like the day. I don't like the week. Oh, maybe I need to get better at just, just avoiding, not even getting involved. Really hard for me. Definitely a challenge. Green Day says long the rejection of the daily range 50%. Is that in the what time frame is that on that chart? Let me see if I can find out here. Is it a 1 minute chart? Gotta be a 1 minute. Wow, you like snipered that. We did fill the gap. That's kind of what I probably should have waited for. You can see right here. Let's call this the 15. It's not really 15. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to delete this text because I'm borderline OCD here. But we filled the gap. This is what I was hoping to see earlier, right? Is we sell off here, fill this gap, and then do something. And take an entry off of this, which here may or may not work. But so far it's working. Doesn't mean a whole lot though, because we're kind of stuck in Trashville. 5 minute got a big old hammer here. So 3, 2 down hammer. Maybe we break up. I don't know. There's just not there's nothing on the higher time frames to target with magnitude. Like that's been my new focus is I need something on the 60, the 4 hour, the 12 hour, the day with magnitude. And if we don't have that, I've been avoiding, trading. Because even if we get one of these smaller time frames to trigger, like there's nothing to keep the momentum going. Yeah. Just blah. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words here. I mean, intently staring at the NQ chart, and I feel like I'm gonna have to scout around a bit for something else to trade. I just don't like NQ at all, and I don't want to keep taking. I don't. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to be involved. Maybe gold. Keep an eye on that. Like at 8. p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, when things can get moving a little bit. Let me look at silver, platinum, copper, oil. Yeah, I don't have enough drawdown in this account to um, to play games. We got 3 minutes until the hourly flip. I'll hang out for a sec just because I'm curious to see what happens here, but I don't expect a whole lot, and I probably won't take another trade. Really need something good to get me interested. Green Day said that I thought it would jump 50 points, but nothing happened, so I got my scalp and ran away before it burned my behind. Smart move. That's the other thing he meant. Green Day mentioned Trump said he would talk to G in the next 24 hours. 9:30 p.m. will bring something better. Yeah, I mean he's got 10% tariffs on China, so we got that hanging over us. Could send the market running higher if that gets resolved in some meaningful way. They talk about, so they're gonna control the precursors for fentanyl some meaningful way. 5 minute hammer is working here. So closed green barely, but we are breaking to the upside. The best trade so far really was just to wait for this gap fill. Like that's the only trade I should have taken, but hindsight 2020 and all that shit. But I do like when we fill these gaps, and then if the market stays bullish, that's a good entry point for me. But right now, it's kind of like whatever. Do got a two down green on the third. Where's it at? My charts are all messed up here. This should be the 15. Trying to go hammer here. I don't know, man. It's just not. We're gonna open inside hour, which is where I don't want to be. 20 seconds. Really, I think I'm thinking to myself over here. I'm gonna work on practicing not trading when conditions are just garbage. Like not sitting here, not looking for trade. I have a tendency to want to try and make magic out of something that doesn't exist, or like hope that something magically turns around. And when there's just nothing here, there's nothing here. And I'd rather sit on the sidelines and not lose money if given a choice. And I do have that choice, right? To just, I could go watch TV, I could play with my dog, I could eat some food, take a nap. So inside hour, inside 30, inside 15. See if this 30 breaks to the upside, but I don't know. I don't really care about it a whole lot. I don't know. I feel like I need to get away from the charts here before I just uh, do something dumb. I feel like Globex Open has been really, really boring. I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, it's okay. Yesterday we did have big gap down, but then after that it was a lot of sideways. Like Sunday was the best. That was after I got off live stream, though. We finally started rolling over with some aggressiveness, but it's been kind of slow. Like usually I'm within the first hour and a half I'm able to make something. Like I put some amount of money in the account. That has just not been the case at all the last 5 or 10 days. Yeah, guys, this is trash. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not gonna force any more trades. I'm already down a little, you know, red $100. Not a big deal, but I don't want to make it 200 or 300. Hit DLL on this account and basically have no wiggle room to recover. Really need my next trade's got to be a good one. Like the 4 hour inside bar that I was scouting last night, it took 8 hours to set up. So sometimes we just got to wait for it, and that's what I'm gonna do. If that means I don't trade at all tonight or tomorrow, I'm saying it out loud so that I remind myself that it's okay to do that. I'm ahead of the game. I got my bills paid through February. So, we're only 3 days into the month. Today was the first trading day of February. Well, Sunday technically, but Sunday, Monday. And so I've got time. I don't need to make it happen today. It's more important that I wait for like the really great setups that I can't turn down and then go after it. So that's my game plan. If you guys are trading tonight, good luck. Be careful. Turn on the news. Subscribe to Trump's, account. Turn on notifications on Twitter, or at least like have your head in the game. Use stops. Don't get run over. It's not fun. But neither is this, so I'm gonna hop off. Appreciate you guys being here, and hopefully one of these days here things will pick up. We'll get some volatility, some like follow through, something to get on. There haven't been any. My favorite Globex opens have a setup on like the hourly and 4 hour, and it's just not been like that. So nothing I can do. Alrighty, everybody, have a good night.